Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. It's Sunday afternoon, and I'm doing a special edition of PoliTarology. Now, I may end up doing a lot of Sundays because this is kind of a nice day to do them, but I'm also going to be probably doing more Friday night PoliTarologies as well, not just the ones with other people, but I'll do some solo ones. So welcome to PoliTarology. And I have a few questions here, but if you want to put questions in the chat, put them in all caps, and my sister is backstage. She's helping me, so she'll start the questions, and we'll put them all into the hopper so we can get some questions done. And I see there's a bunch of people here. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Heather. Hi, Patrick Duncan, Yvonne Broughton. Who else is here? Virgo Animal Whisper. Now, Love Harlow and professional Aquarian Kathy Beal were here way early, as was I, and I got their questions. I don't think they're here anymore, but maybe they'll come back. Who knows? Okay. Laura Hammond, Mimi Nee, Anna Greenwich, Teacher Barbara. Wow, great. So we have a nice little crowd here. So, yeah, I'm going to start off with one of my questions here, which is, will DJT declare martial law in April? Will he or won't he? And I think for this, I think the best deck for this is going to be the zombie deck. That's this one, the zombie deck. It's a little gross, but it gets the job done when it comes to things having to do, especially with military stuff. So DJT is doing a lot of wackadoodle things right now. He is making a lot of enemies, pissing off a lot of people. And he's saying one thing and doing another and changing his mind and going all over the place with stuff. So will he declare martial law in April? I mean, you might as well read the tarot to figure that out, because you sure as hell can't figure it out by what he says or what he does. So let's see. Is he going to do the martial law thing in April? Okay, let's see. Interesting. So interesting. Here's the deal. He loves the idea of how panicked this will make everybody. So I wouldn't be surprised if he keeps hinting at it and hinting at it and hinting at it. And he'll come out with some announcements that hint at it. I don't think he'll come out with an announcement that actually says he's going to do it, unless he is going to do it. But it just makes him so happy. I get the 10 of Cups. It just makes him so happy to hint at it. The card right over everything is the Moon. He loves the subterfuge. He loves the threat, the mysterious threat of will he or won't he. He loves this hanging in the air, and he's going to let it hang in the air just as long as he can. And it's crossed by the Page of Wands, which is where I got the idea of him making, erroneous announcements or mysterious announcements or misleading announcements, because it's on its side. So, of course, these announcements aren't going to be the real thing. They're going to be some version that he wants to go out there. And, Caroline Levitt, she'll say anything that he tells her to say. So, there's that. Now, he has been thinking about this for a very long time. Every time just about he has a meeting with his advisors about anything, he brings this up. Well, we could just do martial law. Oh my gosh, Linda G, thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Is she, I guess she's watching, right? I mean, she must be. Thank you. That's really sweet. I appreciate that. I think that Trump just has it's like the tariffs. Like, can you hear that siren going on? Whenever you're doing a reading and there's some kind of like weird thing in the background that happens, like a bird bird tweeting or a siren or something going on, it means something in your reading. So I'm taking this to mean that, yeah, he's going to alarm people literally with his announcements, because it's he's like a dog with a bone. He can't let go of it. It's just like the tariffs. Like, he started talking about tariffs in the 90s, folks. I mean, he thought that the United States should be tariffing the heck out of everybody. And lo and behold, it was bad. So, and it's not doing anybody any good. But he can't let go of it. He thinks it's really cool. And he also, now, this whole thing about declaring martial law, like I said, he's going to hint at it. He's going to put out misleading announcements surrounding that topic. He will, he won't. It might be this date, it might be that date. He won't do it at all. He will do it in a partial way. I mean, he's going to say a bunch of nonsense between now and the end of April, all through April. I feel he's just going to leave us hanging. I think he is going to actually try to make it happen, but I think his advisors are saying that you shouldn't announce that. You shouldn't say weeks ahead of time that it's going to happen. You should just do it. Do it or not do it. But I think deep down, Trumpy's a little afraid of this, because that's big boy stuff. And we all know he's not a big boy. He gets the star up on top, which makes me think that he thinks that this will be kind of like the hero move. Like, people will think, oh, really good for him, he did that. Well, some of his 17 supporters will say that, but the rest of the country will be like, what? Why is he doing that? We don't need to be under martial law. And then we get the Knight of Swords. So there's going to be, and this is why I think this deck is perfect for this question, because the Knight of Swords, of course, is showing a kind of a general looking guy with a gun and a sword and riding in a tank and coming in and crushing people. Because people in this country don't have any idea what martial law would look like. And the last time that we had martial law, and you'll correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, was when they had the education thing where they were trying to desegregate the schools in the South. And George Wallace was alive, standing his ground and saying, well, you'll never come in here with that. And sure enough, they did, because they declared martial law and the guys just went in and did it. Or maybe that was just they used the Army Reserve or something. But it was a military influence that broke that. So I don't think in this country, yeah, so maybe that wasn't martial law. Maybe I'm wrong. But I don't think this country really understands what martial law would look like. I mean, I don't really know what it would look like. People have asked me and I'm trying to imagine it, and I'm just like, well, I don't know. It might be like curfews. It might be like more like the COVID lockdown reminded me of some things that might be like martial law, but I don't really know. I don't think anybody alive really knows, because I don't think they've done it here. So that's the other thing, is that it makes people feel insecure and afraid. Keeps trying to get Black people out protesting to call martial law, and we aren't coming. Yeah, right? I mean, why do we need martial law? We really don't need it. He wants martial law because he wants us to be in a state of emergency, because then he can declare that we're under attack or that we're in a war, and then he can just stay president for a while and do whatever the hell he wants. So, of course, he wants that. And that's one of the big appealing factors for him for calling out martial law. Now, the next thing we have here is the Page of Cups for his fears. Yeah, you betcha. Little boy is kind of scared. He's a little boy, you guys. Emotionally, this guy is 5. And it frightens him even to call martial law. So I don't think that he is going to be very comfortable with this. I don't think, if he actually does it, I don't know. And I'm not saying he's 100% going to do it, because I don't think that I don't think his advisors are for it. And I don't think the military is for it. I think they are not for it. And I'm not even sure what it all involves, if it involves actual military or the reserves or what it involves. But anyway, and so this is really funny. In this deck, what do people see around him? What do we see in this? And it comes up with the Six of Wands. The undead are victorious. Big newspaper headline. It's official. So does that mean we're in martial law? I don't know. What other people see is that this is what he wants. Yeah, back in 1941. That is 80 years ago or more. I mean, that's a long time ago, following the attack on Pearl Harbor. Thank you, Deborah Robinson. Thank you for putting that up there. Yeah. So most people are not going to understand what it would even look like. And was it martial law just in Hawaii? I would think. It was in Hawaii. Okay, so it was in Hawaii they declared martial law. Okay. That makes sense. That really makes sense. I know that after 9/11, people were saying, well, are they going to put New York and Washington under martial law? And I was like, wait 5 minutes because I think it's over. Well, is it really though, Maureen? That martial law is every freedom and right that we have being taken away? I don't really think that's what it means. I think it means we're under protection. We're under military protection. So we have to observe curfews. We can't freely move about. Things have to get really locked down. But I don't know. I think it would be a lot more like the COVID lockdown, honestly. That's what I really get. Anyway, so what does he hope to get out of all of this? One thing that could happen under martial law is that it would be a good time for him and Elon to leave the country. We get the Chariot here. It would be a good time for all those criminals to hightail it out of here, right? But I don't think the military is going to cooperate with him on big scale items. I think they'll do a few things, but I don't think they're going to cooperate with him in total. And the final outcome is the Four of Hazards, which is the equivalent of the Four of Coins. So it's just he wants to hang on to everything that he has. So I think his hopes and desires about martial law are that it will allow him to stay in power. It will allow him to maybe get Elon to grab a few more, agencies and lock them down or gut them or fire people or whatever. In other words, they can just do a whole lot of things with cover. Nobody will see what they're doing. It's really, this is the reason that Chuck Schumer voted against whatever that budget thing was, because he was afraid if the Republicans shut down the government, then Trump would just do everything. Then he would take total control of everything. He would take advantage of the shutdown of the government to just say, okay, we don't need the courts. Okay, we don't need this. We don't need that. We don't need Social Security. We don't need Medicare. We don't need Medicaid. Then they would really shut down everything. And so either martial law or governmental shutdown, I think, should be avoided at all costs. And I don't know why, but my comments are not keeping up with the real comments. Oh, there we go. There we go. Now I can see everything. Oh, great. Oh, thank you, everybody, for being here. This is just wonderful. Thanks very much. Okay, so will he do martial law in April? I think he's going to dance around it. I think he's going to make confusing proclamations surrounding that topic. And okay, what's this say? Using further, martial law suspends all existing laws as well as civil authority, and the ordinary administration of justice in the U.S. martial law may be declared by proclamation of the president. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So they just tell us what we can and can't do. Can we go to our jobs? Do we have to stay home? Is there a curfew? I don't think it's a situation where we need to put up blackout curtains, because we're not actually at war and there's not actually planes flying overhead looking for places to bomb. So it would be a little bit different. So Gray Raven Tarot says the biggest challenge with the I think you mean shutdown, that would be the federal court systems that have been defended. Yeah, exactly. And that is why I think Chuck Schumer, I mean, I'm not defending Chuck Schumer in all his choices, but in that choice, I think it was the best choice, because if the government had shut down, yes, the courts could run. I think I heard Glenn Kirshner or somebody saying that budget-wise, they could run for a few weeks and then they would be done. They would not be able to be open. And that's not cool. All of those things shutting down is really bad for us. Martial law is also probably bad for us, unless there was a good reason. If Social Security checks don't go into the banks on the 9th, all heck will break loose. Okay. Well, I'm not, isn't that some of that stuff automated though? I'm not sure that the Social Security checks would actually stop. I know I said that earlier, that Medicare, but that's if they had a total government shutdown and Elon could get in there and do something about it. He would try to make it stop. He would stop checks and stuff from going out. But April is also the federal tax deadline, right? So if people don't pay their taxes, then they don't get that big influx of money into the government. So, I mean, I know that's thinking like a logical thinking person, not like a dumpy Trump person who doesn't really use his head on anything. So, if he put two and two together, April would probably be the worst month to do martial law. But, we'll just have to see. All right. So let me go on to the next question here. And I have one. Is April 2nd so-called Liberation Day by Trumpy? Is that actually going to be a day where he does the first strike on Greenland? And let me see. I think I'm going to use a different deck for that. I'm going to use the Pulp Tarot deck, and we're going to see, well, April 2nd, that's just in a few days. Is that going to be the first strike in Greenland? Well, let's see. Okay. Again, oh boy. Okay, let me lay out the cards and then I'll tell you what I see. Yeah. Again, he wants to. It is his big plan, but will it happen? I don't think it's going to happen. He fervently wants to do this. I mean, this is his fondest wish. He just is drooling at the idea of, yeah, let's do a big military strike on Greenland. Well, what's the point of that? Greenland is what what you're trying to get. It's really Denmark that you want to go after. And Denmark, actually has a full-fledged military. It may be small, but they have a full-fledged military. But what crosses him is the Four of Swords. So he's not really going to be able to act on this fully. And I think that's because of the military. I think the military is pointing out all sorts of reasons why, it can't happen. It shouldn't happen. It's a terrible idea. And at the base of it is him, the devil, that he's just, in this case, it seems as if they were inching towards World War III. If he actually makes a strike against Greenland, we could very well be there. Yeah, that's true, but I mean, we're a few steps away from that. So what Trumpy really wants is to do it. He certainly does want to do it. But I think in this case, him as the devil is him succumbing just to his lusts. he lusts at the idea after the idea of, I'm going to be the first president in 80 years that actually increased the landmass of the United States. Really? Okay. If that floats your boat, great. I think in this day and age, the whole rest of the civilized world is kind of past that, except for those idiots that are authoritarian, right? I don't think this is going to happen. I think he's going to get a tremendous amount of pushback. He's going to want it to happen. I mean, he may again make announcements about it. He wants this to happen, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, what is he going to do? They're going to land on the shores of Greenland and, capture a couple of goats? I mean, what are they going to do? We already have a military base there. So how are you? I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. But then I'm not a military person, so maybe there is a way for it to go. The card that's in the future for him is the High Priestess. So I have a feeling that there are going to be lots of powers that be that stop him, that stop his plans, that stop the whole process. Part of it will be military, because the military doesn't want to do this, because they see exactly what Gray Raven Tarot's comment was, that this would be the start really of a World War III. And a ground war, a boots on the ground war, is passé. It's obsolete. That's not really the way you should be doing things. They do that in the Middle East because that's where they're at with the Middle East. They are still skirmishing over land. Danish warships are on patrol off the coast of Greenland. Of course they are. Of course they are, because it's part of Denmark. I mean, it's under the auspices of Denmark. It's its own thing, but it's under the auspices of Denmark. It's under their protection. That's what it says in their form of constitution, that they're under the protection of Denmark. So yeah, I don't think anybody's going to let him do this. What does he really want out of this? Well, he wants to conquer new lands. He wants to go out and conquer new things, and he wants to show everybody that he's the big conquering president. He's going to be the what's the guy's name? Amerigo Vespucci of our current century. Other people just see that it's a big grab for power. It's a big grab to make him seem like a big man. But I think, if he really thinks carefully, Donald, if you're watching, just listen to me. This attack on Greenland would really squash your whole hopes of getting the Nobel Peace Prize. Think about it, Donald. Listen to me. If you want that Peace Prize, stop the whole nonsense with Greenland. Okay, that was my PSA. All right. So what is he hoping for? Yeah, he wants a big fight. He loves the generals. Like, he loves to surround himself, or used to love to surround himself with generals, until he figured out that they were a lot smarter than him. And he wants to be a general. He went to did he go to West Point or a military academy? Deborah Robinson, I read somewhere this morning that Trump would not rule out military. Yeah, of course, he always says that. He says that in almost every interview, every topic that you ask him about, whether it is, taking over Panama, or doing something with Greenland, or making Canada a part of the United States. He always says that he doesn't rule out military force. Well, I don't take anything off the table. I just read 4 articles about him before I came on. Every single interview for those articles, he said, yeah, I don't take anything off the table. He just says things to say things. This is a man, I'm sorry, but this is a man that's in dementia. He is not in his right mind. He is not in control of his mouth because of his brain. He's also not in control of his bowels. So this is a guy that's got a lot of problems that he has to deal with. So he's just going to say whatever he wants to say. I think at this point in his life, he does not give a crap about what people think, because he is not thinking straight. He's just not thinking straight at all. Anyway, so he loves the fight. He wants to be the big, military guy that's going to make the fight. But in the end, it's the hanged man. It's suspended. So, don't be surprised if there is some big announcement about something having to do with Greenland. And then at the last minute, the announcement will be just like, oh, whoops, never mind, and nothing happens because he can't do it. Yeah, exactly. No military is going to jump up and down and do that. They're just not. All right, so let's go on to the next question. And the next question is, this one's kind of stupid, but I'll read it anyway. So Trump is mad at Putin. There's having a little tiff, the two boys, and he's threatening Putin if he doesn't go along with, if there isn't some sort of negotiations for peace with Ukraine soon, Dumpy's going to impose tariffs on him. Yep, tariffs on Russian oil. Now, we don't get a lot of things from Russia, and they have decreased what we get over since Obama. I think they've just been gradually bringing it lower and lower and lower and lower, the things that we actually import from Russia. But we do still import some things from Russia, like oil and gas products. So if he wanted to put tariffs on that, it would just make those things more expensive for us, because Trump, again, genius of the hour, just doesn't understand that tariffs don't punish the country, they punish the people. He just doesn't get this. And again, this just supports my idea that he's not in control of his mind, he's not in control of his mouth, because he's in he's a very sick elderly man. He should not be in control of anything more than how he goes to the bathroom, which he can't be. So that's what I think. All right, so what's going on here with Putin, with this little tiff with him? Is it real? Is it real that he's really going to do this and that he's mad at Putin, or is this just a show? I mean, what is going on there? I thought they were in a very hot and heavy bromance. I mean, Putin's got the pictures without his shirt on, which prompts Donald to do all those NFTs where they Photoshop his face onto the bodies of all these really strapping, virile, hunky men with big chests and biceps and everything. It's just so, can I just say it? It's just so 1970s. It's just not today. Like, he's 50 years at least behind the times. At least. Okay. All right, let's see here. So what's going on with the bromance with him and the Poot? Well, first card that comes up is the World. Right after it is the Seven of Cups. So yeah, he knows that he's playing on the world stage, and he loves the idea of being the big puppet master on the world stage. Unfortunately, what crosses him is his dementia. He cannot think straight. He's made some, he just doesn't take care of himself. He never has. He just thought that he was invincible. He was immortal, and, no disease would ever catch up with him. Oh, except the ones that he inherited from his father. That's his big inheritance, is the dementia and whatever else goes along with that. Jay Melissa, these are the Pulp Tarot. All right. And then Eight of Swords. And so, here's Trumpy's card at the base, the Eight of Swords. What is he locked in at? Well, Putin controls him, right? Putin owns him. They are in a bromance. They are. Card from the past, the Lovers. Yeah, they're definitely, he owns him. And the thing is I think Trump thinks it's cool. I don't think Trump sees it as any kind of a burden. I think he sees it as, it's really cool. I'm on the inside with the FSB. That's me. I'm cool. I'm part of that. Because he's that era of guy, like the Fonz kind of thing. Like, he thinks Putin's cool, and now he's cool because he's in with Putin. Card that crowns him is the Page of Swords. So there's going to be a little, this news is going to be a little dust up between him and Putin, but is it for show? I think it is for show. I think it's just so that we think that, or his base will think that he's standing up to the big man in our country, right? But I don't know. Interesting cards that come up, though. A couple of major arcana came up. All right, so it shows out to everybody else. It shows that he's really standing up to Putin. But then we get the High Priestess. So there's something going on behind the scenes that is pretty interesting. Very interesting. And we probably won't know, definitely won't know right away what it's really all about, but we won't know for quite a while what it's really all about. He thinks he's finally playing 3D chess. He actually thinks that. I bet Trump doesn't even know how to play chess. Actually, I don't know how to play chess, so I shouldn't really fault him for that. But, mental midget comes to mind. Like, the guy is just not, he's not firing on all cylinders, and I've said that from his disease, but even not from his disease, he's not as smart as he thinks he is. He thinks he's this like mental giant. He's actually not. And we get here the Eight of Pentacles, which is, I'm going to just cover up the lady with no clothes on with my finger. We get the Eight of Pentacles here, which is supposed to indicate somebody with a high level of skill in what they do. And he knows he doesn't have that. I mean, he tried very hard to be the person who had the art of the deal, but I mean, clearly he doesn't. He's a terrible negotiator. He's terrible at all of this, diplomacy and statesmanship and negotiating, mediation, arbitration. I mean, he just does not know how to do this at all, because his idea is just to bully people, just to, throw down his toys and say, well, you can't have them. They're my toys. And he just doesn't have any skill or finesse in that area whatsoever. And what other people think is they see that he just is weak. He's weak. He's not capable in that area at all. What he's hoping is that by doing this, he's kind of maneuvering Putin. I don't think he is. But this is what he wants. This is what he thinks. I get the Temperance card. So he's really trying to like play it down the middle with Putin. There is no playing down the middle with Putin. There is no playing Putin. Nobody can play him. That guy, sick as a dog, just reported that he was in the hospital. Reports of his death for the last 2 years. Obviously he's had some major illnesses. And still, that guy is outmaneuvering most of the leaders of the world. Because, he's just a phenomenal KGB agent, right? Now, this is very interesting. The final outcome card is the Star. So I think the way that I'm going to read this is that this is actually going to come to our benefit. Whatever happens with this little dust up in the bromance, I think it is going to be helpful to us in the United States. I think it's going to be helpful to the situation around the world, because I don't think that much is going to come of this whole thing. Tariffs on Russian goods, big whoop. We can't buy anything that's from any other country anyway. Starting in April, we're not going to be able to buy much of anything that's imported. So, we're just going to get used to that. We're just going to get used to buying things that are only made here, or that we can tolerate the increase in the price and it's not too horrible. So that's how that's going to go. All right. So that's the dust up with them. Okay. So the next thing, Cleo, you want to put up a question and I'll do it? Switch decks. I hope that's not making a noise. I keep hitting my mic stand and I hope that's not making a big noise. So if I listen back to this video and I hear every 30 seconds, I'll know that it made a noise. Okay, Elon is leaving DOGE in May, at end of May, to take care of Tesla and his other interests. Will DOGE go away altogether? Sorry, doggy. Will doggy go away altogether? Let's see. He's not leaving till the end of May? Oh, darn it. He's not leaving till the end of May. My daughter just got home, and I'm pretty sure that she doesn't remember that I'm doing a show. So you can expect any minute now that she's going to burst in the door and then go, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry." So I just thought I'd alert you to that. Might happen. Okay. So doggy, will it come to an end when Elonia leaves it? Okay, the first card I get again is the Ace of Cups. Got a lot of Ace of Cups coming around. So let's see what that means. I'm going to lay out the cards and I'll figure out what they mean. Wow, major arcana here. Okay. Alrighty. So the Ace of Cups is crossed by the Fool. So Ace of Cups. So this is Elonia going back to try to save his country, his company, right? So Elonia lives by his emotions. He's a double Cancer. If it's appealing to him in that moment, then it's important to him. And we have the Fool on its side crossing this. So this is a man who, like his big bro Dumpy, does not learn from his mistakes. He's never been asked to learn from his mistakes in his life. He's had a pretty privileged life all his life. And he just does not realize how the rest of the world really works and how the rest of the world's people really live. He does not understand this. So for him, again, it's all pleasure. You know, if it gives him pleasure in the moment, then it's important, and it's the most important thing in the world. At the base of this is the High Priestess. So there's a lot of secrets that are going to be coming out, not right away, but he's keeping a lot of secrets right now. He thinks he's keeping a secret about his drug use and his ability to manage himself and his life. He's not keeping that secret, but he doesn't know that. He's the Fool. He thought also what he has in the past is the Emperor, and he thought also that the Emperor or Dumpy was going to protect him, or maybe the Emperor is Pooty, and he thought he would protect him. So he has these two guys that he thinks are able to protect him, but I don't think either one of them can really protect him, because Elonia has broken the law in a couple of different countries all over the world. So there's that's gearing up to come and get him. And the Tesla board, I think, is ready to dump him. So even going back at the end of May, I think that's way too late. That's about 60 days from now. And a board of directors can act pretty quickly when they want to. So, I mean, we could read about that if Tesla's really going to knock him off the board, if they're going to be successful with that or not. What crowns him is the Princess of Pentacles. He used to be the King of Pentacles. The Princess of Pentacles is really a step down. That's like the Page of Pentacles in this deck. And so not only is his net worth lower, much lower than it's been since back in the fall, but his ideas are not valued. His ideas about how to bring this company back are not valued, because look at what's happening to Teslas all over the world. Not just the United States, all over the world. People are getting rid of their Teslas. They're burning up Teslas. They're burning up Tesla dealerships. They're not happy with Teslas. They just think Teslas are crap. And maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I don't really know, but they're unhappy and focusing that unhappiness on Elonia and those cars. So the car company itself, I mean, to redeem themselves, they're going to have to get rid of him, because keeping him there is going to just make it that much harder to build the brand back up and have any kind of a comeback. So what's in the front of him? Prince of Cups. Again, that's him. That's the little boy him. That's him just whining and saying, but I was doing a big job for the government. That's why I wasn't here. You can't kick me off the board. When, he's just not going to, it's not going to work out well. And he's going to have lots of excuses for them. And also this represents the young pups that he's going to leave in charge at Doggy. He's going to leave these young people in charge at Doggy and just expect that they're going to be able to do everything because they're brilliant, right? Because they can do everything. So he, like a lot of people, is under the mistaken notion that somebody who is brilliant at one thing, like hacking, can be brilliant at all things, like managing gigantic enterprises of people. No. Enterprises of machines and software is one thing. Enterprises of people is a whole other thing. And those kids that he has working for him at Doggy, they know nothing. They know nothing about managing people. Okay. Now, his hopes, this is pretty funny, or rather his fears, is the hermit. So he really is afraid that somebody's going to cart him off and lock him up in a rehab for 30 days and he's not going to be able to do anything. Will Tesla remove him from the board? Well, okay, that's another reading, Rose Bloom. We'll do that. But he's really afraid that he's going to be like just put away in rehab. That's what he really is afraid of. And what do people around him think? The devil. He's the devil, just like Dumpy. He's the devil. And you know what? He kind of is. What is he hoping for? Prince of Pentacles. He wants to get his money back. He wants his money back. Well, not happening. Not happening at all because, again, you've broken laws in about 6 different countries across the world. You have ruined the big namesake company that you have, not namesake, but you've ruined the big company that you have. Oh, wait, you've ruined 2 of the big company. Oh, wait, 3 of the big companies that you have. And so, yeah, you're going down. Your net worth is just going down the toilet. And what ultimately is going to happen to Elonia? Ba-ba-da-da. He going to be locked up. So somebody's going to put him away. Somebody's going to put him behind bars. Somebody is going to severely restrain him, curtail him, isolate him, capture him, put him in a jail, put him in a box, put him in something. I don't know if he's going to still be running Tesla from a jail cell, but they're coming after him. They are coming after him. And by they, I mean all those different countries and the American people. They're all coming after him. So that's what we have to say. So will Doge go away though? Yeah, Doge is going to go away too. Maybe not by, if he doesn't leave until the end of May, of course it'll still exist then. But interesting that he's picking the end of May. Is that the 130 days? Because I think he could only be in that consultant position for the government for 130 days. So somebody do the math on that and let me know. But I think that 130 days is the limit of his time in the government anyway. And at which time, who would run Doge? If he thinks it's going to be Big Balls, then I think he's sadly mistaken because I don't think Big Balls could run a McDonald's. So there we go. Thank you, Bern. I do try. Okay, so let's take another question. Or should we just do the Tesla thing? And what was that I wanted to say? Was Tesla... military remove Trump from president. Okay, we'll do that one. The answer, yes, they will. They will. And they'll have a lot of help. They'll have a lot of help from other big agencies internationally, I believe. I mean, that's probably going to... Now, see, like places like the ICC don't have their own military or police. They rely on the host country's military or police to do the arresting. But they would certainly be bringing up charges against him and probably a lot of his circle of his cohorts. NATO certainly is not happy with him. other countries that see that he might have been involved with the election type of activities, they're not happy with him at all. So I'll throw some cards on it, but I can tell you pretty firmly, yeah, that it's going to happen. They're going to remove him. Is it going to be next Sunday? I don't know. I mean, timing looks like one thing when you're looking at it, but it turns into other things. There's no calendars or clocks on the other side. And that's where we're getting this information from. So we just kind of have to know that it's kind of in that time frame, but we can't, it's very hard to be specific. Okay. So let's see. Is the military going to remove Dumpy from the Oval Office? Interesting. Yeah, they are. Wow. Yeah, they are. That's what the cards say too. They are. Big old Justice is going to come and just whomp him on the head with a big old Ace of Wands. Just boom. They're gonna get him. He does get the Ten of Swords on one side, which is the past, and in this deck, the Ten of Swords looks particularly wicked. He gets the Ten of Swords for the past, so I'm thinking that he's also going to be decompensating even more before that happens, so that like he's totally crazy town by the time they grab him. And then in the future, the card right in front of him, he does get the Death card. So this is definitely going to transform his whole world. And the final card is the Wheel of Fortune, which in this case means that things are on a, that just changes his life completely. Well, does J.D. Vance become president once Trump is removed? No, he does not. He will be one of the people who also gets arrested. I do not see J.D. Vance in the Oval Office by himself ever. I just don't see that. Nor do I see Mikey Johnson, nor do I see anybody who has an R or the MAGA associated with their name. I do not see them. After they end this, those kind of people are not going to just step in and take over. That is not what I see at all. Okay, let's go to the next question. Just make some notes here. Did that. Let me look at the stars. Are you looking up what? Oh, I'm sure she is. She's got a lot starred, so it's going to take her a minute. I should have given her some warning. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. It's kind of nice on a Sunday afternoon, isn't it? I like it. I didn't have to rush home from work or anything. It's nice. You got a question for me? Thank you. JD's posts and signals talked about Trump being unaware, detached. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he is. I mean, I think that we only see him on camera, even for pictures, when he's doing better. But I think he's generally not doing very well. I think he's very sick. I think he's an elderly man who has really succumbed to sickness. Maybe if Dumpy went to Sunday school and got some gold stars for his Bible story studies, he would have gotten it out of his system. Nah, he's just an idiot, never able to learn. Yeah, that's true, Linda Bishop, because when he was younger, even his family could not really control him. He was not the oldest child, but the father, doted on the oldest son. And then when the oldest son didn't deliver, then he turned his attention towards Dumpy. And, Dumpy was not great as a young child before his father turned his attention to him. They just shipped him off to a military school to sort of knock some sense into him. And that's where he really learned how to be a bully. The military system is great in some ways for people. It gives them a lot of purpose and discipline. But in other ways, it also teaches you how to be a bully. So it's not great. Okay, on the local news here, Trump said he's seeking a third term. Please tell us. Okay, yes, I will. I don't need cards to do that. He will never get a third term. He will not finish this term. So how could he get a third term? He's not going to live that long anyway. Sorry, but he's just not. So, okay, give me another one. See, that kind of thing about him seeking a third term, that's just like wanting to invade Greenland and make Canada the 51st state. It's just things he's got like this very long wish list of things, and he just dreams about it, and they're never going to happen. They're just not going to happen. These are the ramblings of a madman or of a very sick, delusional man. It's just they're not going to be there. Yes, he is. He is. He is in mid-stage dementia. He really is. He's been showing the signs almost since his, declaration when he came down the golden escalator and declared he was going to run. And that wasn't the first time he declared. I lived in New York through the Trumpy years. He declared every 5 minutes that he was running for president. He did launch a couple of other presidential bids. When will we be rid of this insanity? I think that by the end of the year, I think we will be well clear of it. I feel I could be wrong. Timing is very, very dicey. I think we have already had some pretty astounding things happen in March, this month, culminating with that call with Hegseth and Waltz and Vance on Signal that was exposing just how incompetent all of his cabinet members are. Tulsi Gabbard, just incompetent, just terribly incompetent. Kristi Noem posing in front of the prisoners in El Salvador, just incompetent. And I do feel that they are going to be swept up in the whole mess that sweeps up Dumpy. The stage has been set for this to happen, but I feel that everybody involved with that has said we have to give them so much rope that they definitely hang themselves, so there's no question that this is the right thing to do. Okay, but a congressman has put up a bill to elect. Good, great. Let him go crazy. It's not happening. That congressman is probably going to be arrested as well. It is not happening. It just isn't. And if you focus on those things, then you're going to miss the big picture. Like, look at all the things that happened in March that exposed the administration for how awful they were. And also, they are committing crimes, not just of the United States. They are committing crimes that are international. So, I mean, they're going to be arrested and put away and maybe tried at the ICC. I mean, this is bad. Say June 14th, the idiot turns 79. Yes, he does. That's right. And that's no bueno. He's going well, most of his brain cells might be gone, but, he may still be kicking. I don't know. It was very interesting, though, the whole thing with the information that came out that said that Putin was in the hospital or near death. And somebody had said that Zelensky made a post that said that, Putin was not going to live very long or something like that. I don't know. I couldn't find it. So I don't know what the post really said or if it even existed. But I've always felt that Pootie and Dumpy are karmically joined. So when one goes, the other's going to go shortly thereafter or around the same time. And I also think Netanyahu is a part of that little happy bromance. I think he's also gonna find his way to his own shadowland very soon, shall we say? But you can't put a date on it. it's hard to put a date on it, but I think all three of those guys are going to kind of like end. And when they go, that's a big shift in our world consciousness, because we lose three autocratic leaders that really have been shaping worldview for a very long time. I mean, think of how long Netanyahu has been in power in Israel. I mean, he was out for like a decade, but still, before that, he had like many years in power, went out, came back in, and regained his power. That's crazy. Putin, very, very steady, always there in power, just steadily rising through the ranks and making himself basically president for life. I feel like if VD ever did, he would be impeached immediately. Hopefully he doesn't. I think they will go down as they're going to go down as a group. That's right. They're not going to be, it's not going to be a one by one thing. It's going to be, I think that for the domestic charges, I think they will charge them kind of as a RICO thing, but they might just let it be handled in a whole different way. I don't know. This is so serious. This is like real high treason, all of them. So I don't know how they're going to handle it. And I think that's why they're taking their time doing it, because they have to get everything right. Is international travel and even moving internationally safe for U.S. citizens currently or the remainder of 2025? I don't know about the whole remainder of 2025, but right now, I personally do not feel that it's safe to do anything internationally, coming or going. Now, Rosie of Rosie Insights just went on a trip. She spent I think a couple weeks in The Hague, actually. And she came back, no incident at all. She has a U.S. passport. She came, she went, she got back safe, fine. So, I mean, it's possible, sure. But I am very paranoid about that kind of thing. I know people who have been detained. I know people who have gotten caught up in a passport dispute, shall we say. And it's a really serious thing, and it's a really scary thing. So no, I would not risk that. Okay. Let's take another question. Grumpy signed the order on January 20th to create Doggy, so May 30th would be 130 days. Thank you, Acadian. Of course, it would be of course. All right. So yeah, 130 days. That's kind of what I thought. And so that's why they picked that date, which means that Elonia himself, I think, is not coming back anyway soon after that. I don't know if there's any stipulation that after you do your 130 days, is there a period of time that you have to wait before you can do another 130 days, or is 130 days just the top? You can't come back at all. I don't know. But anyway, so good one. Okay, Rosie Insights posted today. Yeah, I read that. Yep. Yeah. And that confirms what a lot of us have been saying about what's happening behind the scenes. It really confirms it. And they wouldn't be doing that if there weren't other people in other branches of government also doing the same thing. They're all working together. All right. So what else do we have here? It's going to be different than anything we've ever seen in the last 249 years of history. So in a way, he is going to make his mark in history. Oh yeah, and DJT has always been destined to do that. His chart is very much entwined with the United States Sibley chart, which is the one that a great majority of astrologers use to do predictions and stuff about the United States. His chart is just wildly connected, which is why a lot of Vedic astrologers thought he was just going to be like the second coming. He was going to be so great for the United States. Me, not so much. I did not think that, because I knew who the person really was, but he's teaching us lessons, though. He is touching on a lot of things that we really needed to learn, and we didn't learn in his first term. We didn't learn it well enough, and not enough people really copped to it. A lot of people are just in denial. Oh, he's done. He's gone. We don't have to think about that anymore. Well, we still have the, innate and latent racism that is prevalent in this country. We still have the stain of how this country was even formed, and all the things that were written into our Constitution that we just now just think are intolerable. And yet, have we changed the laws? Have we taken the time to change the laws? Do we have universal health care? No. Do we have free college for everybody? No. Do we have, help for the elderly with housing? Not really. Maybe a little bit. It's called Section 8. It's terrible. So, you know, okay, T-Ramp taken out by military sounds promising, but what will become if the Project 2025 goons will they fire the new frontman? A lot of the people from 2025, Project 2025, not a lot, but there's quite a few who are embedded in the administration. So they will be swept up with the administration. I don't know what kind of charges will be levied against them, but it will be severely damaged. It will be stopped. But the feelings and sentiments that those people have are not going to just magically disappear. And I don't know about all the people. I don't really know how many people that is, but probably hundreds. But, will the Dems win coming up to get back some power? Yes, the Democrats are already winning. We are already seeing that they're not winning every special election, but they're winning enough of them that it's freaking out Dumpy enough that he won't let Elise Stefanik now be the UN ambassador anymore, because she's got to hold on to her seat in New York, because New York, hello, is a state that really doesn't like Dumpy, and they're going to vote Dem when that special election comes up. So he pulled that. And my question is now, who's going to pay for all the money? Who's going to repay the state of New York for all the money that went out to prepare for the stupid special election? Trump is just famous for this. He goes to visit a city and then he just doesn't pay for the special police time that has to be paid for and all the special arrangements that have to be made. He just leaves them hanging for all of that. April 1st, Wisconsin and Florida special elections praying. I did readings on that. Wisconsin is going to go to I think that's Susan Crawford, I think is her name. Yeah, she's going to win. There may be some trouble with her election that may be questioned in some way, but she's going to win. And Florida, I think one is and one isn't going to be Dem. That's what I'm thinking. But still, it's creeping up on the R's, because there's only like 5 seats to play with. And if we get 3 of those 5, then we're within spitting distance. Then it just takes, one heart attack and we got another seat. You know what I mean? Like, so that could happen. We got a lot of oldsters in politics. So, it could happen. It could happen. What international crime has 45 committed? His involvement with elezione fraude. I'll say it like that because that's the big one. But also money laundering, probably on the edges of something like maybe human trafficking, but he's got dirty hands. It isn't just having to do with politics. He's got dirty hands, and it's just been covered up neatly by his friend, the Putin. So it is beyond serious. The Signal debacle is the beginning of a covert inside job. They're doing something to stop this. They are, Rosie. Yeah, she did. Thank you. Okay. All right. So do we have a question, though? Can you find me a question? Well, I found something fun to read on. Let's read on this. X looks like a robot, not a 3-year-old. Well, is X really a robot? Maybe he is a robot. Maybe he's the prototype. No, he's a real boy. Okay. All right. Just checking. Just checking, everybody. All right. So did we find a question? Oh, okay. Oh, we got all the questions. Okay. Yeah, the car blowing up in Putin's motorcade. I was surprised at that because I didn't think that he was out and moving about. I thought he just hid in the Kremlin all the time because he was so paranoid about being killed. So that's what I thought. Okay, so let's do a little quick reading for the collective, and then we'll wrap this up. Do you see any other GOP seats opening up before November that would allow the Dems to get more seats? I do, because once they clean house with the dumpster, there'll be lots of seats. There'll be plenty of seats. Like every other Republican seat will be empty. So yeah, yeah, there will be plenty before November. Plenty. Okay. So, oh, thank you, Sharon. All right. So, what can we say for everybody right now? For all of you guys out there, this is for you. Okay. I'm going to give you guys a full Celtic cross reading here. Okay, this is good. So, hold on to your hats. We just got through the eclipses. This means that now things are set in motion. I mean, things have been set in motion since November, and probably last summer, actually. But the resolution of what's going on has been set in motion. And I know that because the first card that comes up is the Death card. Now, this could mean somebody is going to die, but that's not how I'm taking it. I'm taking it as that we are in a transformation. You all are in a transformation. The whole country and maybe the whole world is transforming because we don't want to see the world be transformed into a series of governments that are all autocracies or tyrannies or dictatorships. We don't want that. We want to see a transformation from that to a more normal kind of government, like a democracy. And the card that crosses that is the Ten of Cups, but on its side. So the Ten of Cups is our happiness, our desires, what we really, really want to have happen, but it's not happening tomorrow. It's in process. And you can't just get discouraged because it's not happening like that, okay? We have the King of Swords. You know what this is? My Jack Smith card. So we do have professional, intelligent, righteous people who are helping us in this endeavor. Yes, he is helping us in this endeavor. I know he's back with the ICC, but he did come to New York and he's doing something in New York. I can't remember what it is, but I'm very encouraged by his presence. In our past is the Strength card, meaning that we have had to put up with a hell of a lot of shenanigans. And why doesn't that focus? There we go. A hell of a lot of shenanigans. And we have the ability to handle this. You are stronger than you think. You are not just being buffeted around by circumstances. You are not just a victim in all of this. You are a person with power. You have power from the divine. You are all a spark of the divine. You are all incredibly strong. You are incredibly powerful. Manifest the shit out of this stuff and make it happen. Do everything that you can do to make it happen. If you can't, like I'm 68. I'm not going out and protesting. That's just, for me, not happening. I got arthritis in my hip. I'm not walking around for 2 hours protesting. I would be falling over and people would be trampling me. But I do whatever I can do. This is one of the things that I do. Now, what crowns us? Now, don't take this the wrong way. And those of you who are readers, don't jump to conclusions. The Fool. This is a good card for us. We are on a new journey. We are on a journey of transformation to go to a better place mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So hang on to that thought. There is a lot of good stuff coming in the future. We got the Ace of Cups in our future. That's really good. And we got the 10 of Cups crossing us. So we're on our way to that future. So as they say at Christmas time, be of good cheer. You know, this can happen. You guys are a part of making it happen. You're feeling secure. You're going to be feeling secure. You may be worried now about things that you don't know what's going to happen in the future. You know what? You're all light workers. Believe that the future is bright. Believe in your own future. You don't see yourself in the future living in a van down by the river, do you? Because if you do, stop that shit. Change that visualization. Make it positive. Make it beautiful. Make it prosperous. Make it loving. Make it so that you have the best of all your relationships ever in your life right now and project that into the future. What do we think about what's going on? We're waiting for the judgment. We're waiting for him to be judged. We're waiting for him to be brought to justice, but especially for him to be judged. And anybody who has known this man over the years, like all New Yorkers and now all Floridians, know that he deserves this judgment more than anybody on the planet, besides maybe Putin and Netanyahu and the guy from Syria and, you know, Orban and all those authoritarians. They deserve this judgment. They are not nice people. They are not doing nice things to the people that they supposedly rule. So what do we hope for? Queen of Wands. Now, I wish I knew who this was. In this deck, she was modeled after Elizabeth Taylor. Can you tell? Yeah. He is, he's Scandinavian. I don't know if he's Norwegian or Danish. I can't remember. But anyway, the artist took this from a youthful picture of Elizabeth Taylor. Anyway, Queen of Wands. Don't know who she is, but I'm looking forward to finding out who she is. And she's going to be a major player in bringing this all to justice, making it all happen. Now, the final outcome, it's kind of a sad final outcome. It's the Seven of Pentacles, which is usually in most decks, it's waiting for your harvest to come in. And that's the way I'm going to read it for this. This card looks really, really sad. But here's the thing. Our country is going through a sad time. This is sad. This is very sad. And the relationships that have been destroyed around the world, that's very sad. And it's going to be very costly for us in the future. Trying to rebuild those relationships is going to take a lot of positive energy from all of us, all over the country. So that's what I want you guys to do and focus on. Be really, really positive. Be good to yourself. Take care of yourself. Be really positive with others. Shine that light. Shine your light to everybody. The people who don't like the light, they're the ones who need it the most, and they're the ones who really hate it right now. But you know what? Eventually, they will take it and they'll like it. And I don't mean like you'll take it and you'll like it. I mean, you know, light is love, is, you know, really helps you when you open up to that. It really, really helps you. And eventually that's where people will go with this. They will accept it. A lot of people, I have neighbors that are MAGA, and they're starting to wave to me in the morning. They knew I had a Harris Waltz sign in my yard, which I still have, but I hide it. But they knew. They're the ones that put out 3 different Trump signs after they saw my Harris Waltz sign, But now they're like, hey, how you doing, Colleen? And I'm like, yeah, please don't shoot me. Anyway, okay, so that's your reading, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I don't know when I'm going to be on next. When am I going to be on next? I'm on Friday. What is that? Friday the 4th. Oh, PoliTarology. It's going to be me, Sherry, and Cleo. And I hope you tune into that one too. And if you're a member, I'll see you in about 45 minutes for the members meeting. And other than that, I'm just going to say love you, peace out, and see you next time. Bye, everybody.